Welcome to your editing lesson for today. Your objective for this lesson is you will edit the errors in the following sentences using your editing strategies. You are going to be using the acronym CUPS to look at words that need to be capitalized or if they're not capitalized correctly, matching the noun and the verb, checking for punctuation, commas being used correctly, apostrophes, and spelling if words are misspelled. So when you edit, you only deal with the acronym CUPS, and you don't have to read the entire text. You only focus on the sentence for each question. So when you edit, you only look at the sentences. You don't look at the entire text. So let's get started with editing sentence 2. Remember, we're going to circle number 2. What I do, you do. Also, don't forget to write your name right here. And when you're done, this will go in the turn-in bin. Please make sure to follow along with me. Follow along. Have your headphones on. Let's get started. Since we're only going to edit sentences 2, 4, 5, and 6, I want you to circle those numbers, please. To remind yourself, those are the only sentences that you need to read. Let's look at sentence 2. Well, Nola, the northern white rhino, who recently passed away at the San Diego Zoo, did just that. Number 1, what change should be made in sentence 2? A, change northern white to northern white, but the N and the W are capitalized. So what you need to do is you're going to underline northern white, and the W and the N are going to be capitalized. That's a possible edit. Delete the comma after Nola. So delete that comma after Nola. Right here. Change past to past. So I'm going to underline past. Above it, I'm going to write past, changing the spelling of that word. And D says make no change. So let's plug them in. Then we're going to eliminate and figure out the best change, the best edit for sentence 2. Now, well, Nola, the northern white rhino, we do need that comma there, so it's not going to be B. We don't need to capitalize northern white rhino. Animals don't need to be capitalized. That's the rule. Animals do not need to be capitalized. So northern white does not need an uppercase N and an uppercase W. So it's either change past to past or make no change. Let's see if this makes sense. We plugged it in, so now we have to read it out loud. Well, Nola, the northern white rhino who recently passed away or passed away. Now, this spelling, P-A-S-T, is dealing with it's happened already. And P-A-S-S-E-D is a different spelling that this is the way that this word should be spelled in sentence 2. Passed away, not passed away. So please always look at your dictionary to check that it's spelled correctly and that it fits how it's used in this sentence. So it's going to be C, change past to past. What change should be made in sentence 4? We have to read sentence 4. She started painting by rubbing her horn on the canvases with children's non-toxic paint. Let's use our editing strategies by plugging in all these possible changes, all these edits. A says change started to started, but the spelling of started has 2 T's. I'm going to write that. And I can use my dictionary to check that that's not how you spell started. So I'm going to eliminate that. I'm going to cross it out, even though I wrote it so I could see how weird that looks, so it's not going to be A. Rubbing to rubbing, and this is a spelling change once again. They have it with 1 B. They're asking us to change the spelling to rubbing with 2 B's. So I'm going to underline rubbing. Above it, I'm going to write the spelling that they want me to change it to. And if I know that I can use my dictionary, I would check how to spell that word. You should never get any spelling changes, any spelling questions wrong. So this one's a maybe, because that's how you spell rubbing with 2 B's. Now change children's to children's. The only difference here is you're taking the apostrophe away. And remember, the apostrophe S shows ownership. Someone owns something. It belongs to them. So let's see how it's used. She started painting by rubbing her horn on the canvases with children's non-toxic paint. So the non-toxic paint belongs to the children's. So we do need that apostrophe and the S because it shows ownership. It belongs to the children. So D is make no change or change the spelling of rubbing. We have to change the spelling of rubbing. It's spelled with 2 B's. Good job. Make sure to follow along with me. Now sentence 5 says, we have to read it. It says, she painted pictures for auctions and Rhino fundraising campaigns. We need to underline auctions, and this is saying we need to add the apostrophe S, which shows ownership, like the auction belongs to someone. But looking at this sentence right here, the word auctions is not followed after the owner. It doesn't say who the auction belongs to. So we don't need the apostrophe S. It doesn't say for Jonathan's auctions, so it's not going to be that one. Change the spelling of raising. So I'm going to underline it and write the possible spelling change above it. I need to plug it in so I can see it for myself, and I checked my dictionary, and that's how you spell raising, so it could be B. Now another spelling change campaigns to campaigness. Campaigness. So I know that that's not how you spell campaigns. This one says campaigns. That says campaign. So cross out C. And it's not make no change because I know that's how you spell raising. So it's going to be B. Number 4. Sentence 6. What change should be made in sentence 6? So let's read sentence 6. She even has a piece of art hanging in the California state capitol. Now they want me to change the spelling of piece to P-I-E-C-E. These 2 words are homophone words. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently and they have different meanings. The one that's already in the sentence, P-E-A-C-E, is talking about getting along together, harmony, love, but it's being used as she even has a piece of art, meaning a part of something. So I feel like this is the correct spelling, so it could be A. B, change hanging to hanged. So they're asking us to check for the verb usage. So let's see if it matches. She even has a piece of art hanged in the California state capitol, or she even has a piece of art hanging in the California state capitol, or hanged. Now it's not going to be hanged. That's not the correct verb usage to match the noun she. It doesn't sound correct. It doesn't match how it's used in the sentence. And then California, they're asking us to make the uppercase C into a lowercase c. We know that California is a proper noun. It's a state, and states start with a capital letter, so it cannot start with a small c. A lowercase c, so it's not the best change. So it's going to be A. This one's a homophone question dealing with spelling. This is how you should use, this is how you spell peace. And it was using the wrong one. Remember, they sound the same, but they're spelled differently and they have different meanings. Now let's look at our next text. We have to look at sentences 3, 5, 7, and 8. So circle the number 3, the number 5, the number 7, and the number 8. And let's get started. What change should be made in sentence 3? Let's read it. For example, a lion's pride usually dines in a group. So they want me to change lions to lions with no apostrophe. So I'm going to underline it. And the apostrophe is needed because it's telling us that the pride, the group of lions, so the pride belongs to the lion. So it's not going to be A. We do need that apostrophe, and it shows ownership. The pride belongs to the lion. Change usually to usually. This one's a spelling one. They're asking us to change usually with 2 L's. The spelling in the sentence has 1 L, and they're asking us to change it to 2 L's. So that one's a maybe. I think that's how you spell it. I've used my dictionary and I checked that it's spelled with 2 L's, but I need to look at the other possible changes. Delete the comma after example. For example, whenever you use a transition word, for example, you always need a comma, and the words following it are going to follow the comma. So whenever you have a transition word, you always need a comma. That's the rule. So you do not need to delete it. Sorry, that comma stays. So it's going to be B. The word usually was misspelled. It's spelled with 2 L's. Sentence 5. They're smaller and faster when it comes to catching prey. A says change there to they are. This is another homophone word. They sound the same, but those 2 words are spelled differently and they have different meanings. Whenever you have the word they are, the contraction, it's actually said as they are. So let's read it with this possible spelling. They are smaller and faster when it comes to catching prey, or the spelling that was originally there. They're smaller and faster when it comes to catching prey. Or B, change faster to faster. This one's asking us to change the spelling of faster with 2 T's. I checked my dictionary and that's not how you spell faster, so it's not B. Insert a comma after smaller. They're smaller. Just because you have a conjunction, the word and, doesn't mean you have to add a comma before it. They're smaller. It's not a complete sentence, so you don't need to insert a comma. So for sentence 5, they're using the wrong there. It's not there, it's they are smaller and faster when it comes to catching prey. Remember, the spelling, the contraction, you have to read it as they are smaller and faster, not there. So it's they are. A. They used the wrong homophone for the word there. Sentence 7. Meals typically take place at dusk and dawn. Let's look at our possible change. They're asking us to change that word by adding the apostrophe, but there's nothing after the word meals that shows ownership, that the meals belong to someone. It's not telling us that the meals belong to the lions. It just says meals typically take place at dusk and dawn, so we don't need the apostrophe S that shows ownership, who it belongs to. B, insert a comma after dusk. Let's plug it in. Meals typically take place at dusk and dawn. This doesn't work because the phrase and dawn is not a complete sentence, and you only add a comma and a conjunction when you have two complete sentences. And dawn is not a complete sentence. So, and dawn is not complete. There's no subject and predicate, so you don't need to insert a comma. Change the spelling of typically to typically. That's not how you say it. You say it typically, not typically. So it's not going to be C. For this one, it was written correctly, so it's make no change. Because looking at that, you know that's not how you spell typically. And it sounds different. It changes how you say the word. Last one. What change should be made in sentence 8? Let's read. The pride normally relocates their meal to a safe place for feasting together. So I want you to underline relocates, and they're asking us to change it to relocats. Let's plug it in with this new spelling. The pride normally relocates their meal to a safe place for feasting together, or relocates, how it's spelled originally. Relocates means like moving to a new place. RE means again, so locating something again. Is it relocates or relocats? That word is spelled correct, so we don't need to change it to relocats. So by relocats, it's spelled the wrong way, so we don't need to change it. B, change there to there. Now this one is another homophone pair of words. They sound the same, but they have different meanings. Remember, THERE has the word here inside of it. So it's talking about a place, location. Please write this down with me. And THEIR deals with ownership, if it belongs to someone. So let's see how it's used. The pride normally relocates their meal. So let's plug in THEIR. So the meal belongs to that group, the pride. So is it talking about a location, or that the meal belongs to someone, they own it? Or change A to an. So let's see. Let's read it with an instead of a. The pride normally relocates their meal to an safe place. Remember, you only use the word an. An is used in front of words that start with the vowel A, E, I, O, U. The word safe does not start with the vowel. So an cannot be the word because S is not a vowel. And you only use the word an in front of a word starting with the vowel. So it's not C. It's either make no change or change the there spelling. This one's going to be this spelling. It's going to be B. Their meal. The meal belongs to the pride. They own it. So it's going to be B. Good job. Make sure that you have your editing strategies on your paper. Make sure to have your name. And please turn this into the training bin. Congratulations for following along and editing these 8 sentences with me. Very proud of you for keeping up and doing your best. Good job.